For many years, humans have strived to be more like the majestic creature that is the primate. Through testing, experiments, and interviews, we've discovered more than we could have ever hoped for about these banana-munching creatures. But what would it feel like to be one of these animals, swinging from tree to tree and screaming? Well, we can answer that question quite easily in Gorilla Tag VR. The premise is very simple. You and your gorilla brethren are stuck in an enclosure with 3 different areas, those being the jungle, an underground crystal mine, and a desert canyon. These all represent the 3 different maps, which are interconnected through a hub area inside a tree. The only goal is to either tag someone as a lava-colored gorilla or run away from the lava gorillas like I run away from the IRS when I forget to pay my taxes. One person starts as the tagger, and every time they tag someone, that person becomes lava-colored as well as the original person who is it. It's a pretty simple premise, but the techniques in which you can catch someone and run away get a bit advanced. Also, I hope you have an entire ICU staff on site while you play, because most of the time you're gonna hit something or someone while you swing your arms around like a deranged lunatic. Unfortunately for all of these gorillas, their legs were blown off in an IED explosion before they were put into the enclosure, so you can only move using your arms. There are plenty of other ways to avoid or to catch the other gorillas, such as running, jumping, climbing, and more advanced techniques, such as wall running. Running in this game is accomplished by pushing your arms on the ground and then propelling yourself forward in any direction you choose. So I guess it's more like leaping, but whatever. Jumping is pretty easy. You push yourself off the ground, and the lower you can get, the higher you can jump. While mid-air, you can use your momentum to push yourself off of or onto other trees to gain momentum and or go higher. Wall climbing is probably the hardest basic technique to learn, but it's pretty easy as time goes by. You simply jump, push yourself up in an upwards angle, and repeat with the other arm. Congratulations, you're ready to play. As I mentioned before, there are 3 maps you can play on at the time of recording. The jungle relies mostly on your ability to mix running on the ground and climbing through trees and platforms, the mines relying on being able to jump long distances, and the desert including lots of wall climbing in high areas. The jungle is the easiest to play and probably the most fun, not being too open and having enough obstacles to make catching the other players somewhat difficult. There are plenty of places to run and hide in, and if you're skilled enough you can reach the tutorial area at the top of the map. The desert is basically just a test to see how well you can wall jump, but if you can't, have fun walking on the ground. Personally, I don't play the Crystal Caves much, but from what I've seen it's a decent map. If I had to rank them, it would probably be in this order. One major thing you should expect going into this game's community is to meet 2 types of people. Children or people who have ascended past monkeyhood to become the ultimate gorilla, and there's barely any middle ground. The vast majority of people I've met in this game sound like they crawled out of the womb roughly 10 minutes before they downloaded this game and just developed basic motor skills. So unless you want your ears to bleed from the extremely high frequency screeching, I recommend taking your hand and sliding it down the mute button on the player list like you're trying to do a crescendo on a piano.
Huh?
I'm
Baby.
okay.
What?
What the hell?
What? It's cool.
Okay, so gorilla tag is when we're lava. So
No,
if you
what's going
if we tag you.
Oi, monkey, talk now. What did you say? What did you say? I want to assassinate John F. Kennedy.
The other type of player is the god amongst men who can go 0 to 60 in 3 seconds by moving his hands like a wheelbarrow. They start dodging like 4 different dudes at the same time like he's in Ultra Instinct mode. And sometimes the tryhard gorilla will also be a kid, so it just adds insult to injury when you get outpaced by a kid with the voice of a slide whistle. These guys are a bit rarer to see, but nonetheless you'll definitely find them. There are only a few things in this game that are a bit iffy, but they're very noticeable. Climbing needs to be a bit more fine-tuned because of the way the physics work. On your character model, you have 3 points of contact, those being your torso and your hands, meaning your arms can easily pass through tree branches. Now this isn't bad, but when combined with smooth or sharp turning on the controller, the angle of how you are facing can launch you off your perch you were on because of the way the physics work. The other thing is how if you tag someone, you have the chance of either missing completely by going through them or tagging them from a mile away. I'm guessing this happens because of latency, but the game just came out so I'll cut it some slack. And I know what you're thinking, the game has a bit of a lack of polygons. It looks like someone kind of duct taped a Vive to a PS1 graphics card, so you shouldn't expect much in the graphics department. But there's something charming about a simplistic art style like this one that basically any low-end VR PC can run. And it's free, so I recommend you go play it. I'm gonna give Gorilla Tag VR an 8 out of 10, because up until this point, I haven't used a real rating system. So, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.